Do you believe it's possible to contact divine forces and shape the world around you? Sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But what if I told you that there's a book, hidden in the shadows of history, that promises exactly that? The Book of Sacred Magic isn't just an esoteric manual, but a guide to uncover the mysteries of the universe, harness the most powerful forces, and transform your life. Here, popular belief meets meticulous practice, and doubts clash with surprising results. Imagine being able to summon a guardian angel to guide you, while you subject demonic entities to your will, all while learning secrets that few have dared to explore. Seems impossible? That's exactly what makes this journey so fascinating. We're used to hearing that success takes effort, but this book goes beyond, challenging every fiber of your determination. Get ready to dive into a world where logic meets the supernatural, and what seems unattainable becomes a real possibility. The question is, are you willing to let go of your certainties, break old habits, and follow a path that promises not just answers, but deep transformations? If the idea of unraveling ancient mysteries and reaching a new level of understanding has sparked your curiosity, stick with me. After all, what you discover here could change not only how you see the world, but also how you interact with it. Now, as we move forward, I want you to reflect. How many times have we failed to explore incredible possibilities out of fear or doubt? Maybe this is the moment to challenge your beliefs and take the first step toward something truly transformative. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comment. I want to know how you feel as you embark on this extraordinary journey. Ancient grimoires are a true portal to the unknown, and the Book of Sacred Magic is no exception. This 15th century treasure offers a detailed method for something few would dare attempt: invoking your guardian angel, and thereafter, channeling demonic forces for good purposes. Fascinating, isn't it? What's curious is that its foundation isn't just magical, but deeply rooted in philosophical and spiritual systems like Kabbalah, Hermeticism, and Gnosticism. Have you ever stopped to think about the power of a system that unites both reason and the mystical? This book is a perfect example. Imagine a text that not only guides magic, but also gives us a glimpse into Renaissance thinking. The work doesn't emerge from a vacuum. It is the sum of ideas that traveled through time and space, blending Jewish and Greek traditions with Eastern beliefs. This teaches us something fundamental. True knowledge knows no borders. And speaking of that, have you ever thought about how merging wisdom from different cultures could transform your worldview? Perhaps the first step is to seek readings that expand your mind, like philosophical classics, or even modern works that decipher these mysteries. However, what's most impressive is the almost didactic organization of the text, something rare in a grimoire. Instead of being a chaotic collection of rituals, it follows a clear structure, as if the author knew that knowledge needs to be accessible to be effective. This reminds me of the importance of having an organized routine, even for bold projects. Want to start something new? How about creating a weekly plan? As Abraham of Worms himself would say, preparation is what defines success. And speaking of success, one of the most intriguing lessons this grimoire offers is how the simple act of writing can be magical. For ancient authors, every word carried power, especially in a ritualistic context. And what if we applied this to our daily lives? How about starting a journal where you write down goals and ideas? This simple practice could be your doorway to transforming dreams into reality. But hold on. This is just the beginning. Let's dive even deeper into the mysterious history of this fascinating manuscript. When we think of Abraham of Worms, the figure of an untiring seeker of divine truth emerges. This mysterious author wasn't just a medieval Jew, he was a man on a mission, crossing continents to find answers no one else dared to seek. His journey from Germany to Egypt wasn't merely physical but also spiritual. And isn't it curious how often we need to move, literally or metaphorically, to find what truly matters? Perhaps it's time for you to map out your own journey in search of something greater. Abraham's encounter with Abramel and the hermit is almost like the climax of an epic film. Imagine spending years facing frustrations, disappointments, and masters who weren't as wise as they seemed, only to finally meet the mentor who transforms everything. Isn't it the same in our lives? How many times have we found answers in the most unexpected moments in people? Maybe it's time to start listening more carefully to the wise voices around you. Who knows? That conversation with a friend or a new reading might be the abramelin you've been seeking. What makes this narrative so engaging is how it mixes historical facts with a touch of mystery. The backdrop of the Renaissance, with its cultural exchanges between East and West, gives an air of authenticity to this account. Think about the countless possible connections between different spiritual traditions and how that could enrich your own search for meaning. Have you considered exploring topics like Kabbalah or Hermeticism in accessible books like the Book of Enoch or the Keys of Solomon? They could be the starting point for a deeper understanding. And of course, there's something magical about the very idea of traveling in search of the unknown. While Abraham crossed deserts and continents, perhaps the true journey was the internal one. This makes us question, are we really exploring our potential to the fullest? What would you do if you had a door to the divine right in front of you? But wait, the complexity of the rituals he discovered only grows from here. When it comes to the ritual described in the Book of Sacred Magic, the word complexity might be an understatement. Imagine dedicating 18 whole months of your life to a process that demands isolation, extreme discipline, and an almost superhuman focus. This is not a challenge for the faint of heart, but a journey that tests not only your physical strength, but also your ability to stay firm in the face of your own weaknesses. It's like trying to climb Everest, but in the spiritual realm. Have you ever thought about how to prepare for something so demanding? The first stage of the ritual already puts even the most determined to the test. Strict rules dictate everything from the clothes you should wear to how to pray 3 times a day. For those looking for more practical examples, it's like following a highly restrictive diet, where every slip could compromise the final result. Imagine having to give up simple pleasures like a good dinner, or even the company of friends, all in the name of a greater purpose. This makes us reflect. How much are we willing to sacrifice for our dreams? And what about the necessary isolation? During this time, the practitioner must live practically alone, dedicating themselves exclusively to preparing for the culminating moment, the appearance of the guardian angel. This isolation isn't just physical but also emotional and mental, like a kind of spiritual detox. For those who can't afford to abandon everything, perhaps a weekend retreat or daily meditation is already a great start to connecting with yourself. But the real test comes when the ritual nears its end. After months of devotion, the practitioner not only connects with the divine, but also needs to face the forces of darkness to control them. Isn't it fascinating to think how these steps can be seen as a metaphor for controlling our own fears and desires? Get ready, because the connection between this complexity and occult figures and their disastrous attempts is what awaits us in the next point. Aleister Crowley, an iconic yet controversial figure, brought an air of mystery and tragedy to the Book of Sacred Magic. Known as the most wicked man in the world, he unsuccessfully attempted to complete the ritual described in the grimoire. His failure, they say, opened a portal to forces he could never control. It's like starting an experiment without following the manual precisely. The risks are immense. This reminds us of the importance of respecting the rules, no matter how secure or advanced our skills may seem. What makes Crowley's attempt even more intriguing is how his approach to the ritual was surrounded by ego and improvisation. He altered steps, ignored periods of isolation, and even used substances to amplify his spiritual connection. This lack of precision can be a valuable warning for all of us. How many times do we cut corners on our goals and then find ourselves surprised when something goes wrong? The lesson here is clear. A solid plan is the foundation of any achievement. And it doesn't stop there. The mansion where he performed the ritual, Boleskine House, became the scene of inexplicable events and tragedies. From mysterious fires to possession stories, Crowley's failed attempt seems to haunt the place to this day. Imagine the impact of leaving something unfinished and how that can ripple not only through you, but also around you. Maybe it's time to revisit abandoned projects and complete them with excellence. How about starting with that one you've been postponing for months? Finally, Crowley's failure and his interpretation of the ritual led to the resurgence of this grimoire's popularity and modern interest in the occult. It's fascinating how one man's failure can ignite the curiosity of so many others. But to understand the mysteries and power he sought, we need to dive into the enigmas of the magic squares, the next step in this fascinating journey. The magic squares described in the grimoire are a real puzzle. They aren't just random symbols, but talismans filled with hidden meanings, created with almost mathematical precision. Every letter or word carries a purpose, activated only when the practitioner spiritually aligns with the ritual. Think of them as keys that can only unlock specific doors when used correctly. Can you imagine what it would be like to solve such a puzzle, where each piece is a connection between the physical and the metaphysical? The most interesting thing is that these squares work like a kind of hidden code. Did you know that many of them are connected to Kabbalistic numerology? It's as if each number and letter formed a secret language between the practitioner and the universe. Who knows in our daily lives if we can apply something similar? Writing clear objectives with specific details could be the first step to activating our own talismans of success. After all, every great achievement starts with a well-drawn plan. But these squares aren't just practical tools. They also challenge our minds to reach new levels of concentration. Solving one of these puzzles requires patience, focus, and dedication, qualities we often lack in our fast-paced lives. How about starting with small exercises to improve your concentration? It could be something simple like dedicating 10 minutes a day to meditating or solving a challenging puzzle. It's a way to train your mind for bigger challenges. And, of course, the promise of power is tempting. These talismans, according to the grimoire, could offer everything from healing diseases to the ability to find hidden treasures. But here's the warning. Any great tool must be used responsibly. After all, power in the wrong hands can be disastrous. Now that we understand the potential of these talismans, how about exploring how they connect with the symbolic numbers described in the book? The numbers in the Book of Sacred Magic are more than mere references. They are symbolic pillars structuring the entire ritual. For example, the 10 gold florins Abraham offers Abramelin are not random. They represent the 10 Sephirot of the Kabbalah, the divine attributes connecting the human to the transcendent. Think of this as a reminder that even the most practical actions can carry profound spiritual meanings. In daily life, how about attributing symbolism to small gestures, like planting a tree on a special occasion? And the 72 poor people who receive Abraham's charity? This number has deep mystical roots, connecting to the 72 names of God in the Kabbalah. It's almost as if each person helped was a piece of a great divine puzzle. Imagine the impact of doing 72 small acts of kindness over a year. It may seem simple, but like Abraham, you'd be connecting to something much greater than yourself, the transformative power of altruism. Now, the 18 months of preparation for the ritual take commitment to another level. It's not just a number. It symbolizes a complete cycle of spiritual rebirth, a journey of self-discovery that requires patience and dedication. Perhaps in our reality, we can adopt this number as a personal challenge. How about dedicating 18 months to a project that demands your total focus? Whether it's a course, a business, or even personal transformation, the secret lies in consistency. These numbers, although specific to the grimoire, show us something universal: the power that resides in order and symbolism. They teach us that every number carries a story, a purpose, and a possibility. And speaking of purpose, how about exploring how these numbers influence the more detailed rituals described in the book? Let's delve even deeper into the logic and magic behind these practices. Now that you've delved into these mysteries, ask yourself, what's holding you back from transforming your own life? The lessons of the Book of Sacred Magic are not just about summoning angels or mastering demons. They're an invitation to look within, reorganize your mind, and prepare to face the toughest challenges. Are you ready to take control of what seems uncontrollable and create the life you've always dreamed of? Think about it. How can you apply the concepts of discipline, focus, and purpose in your daily life? Maybe it's not an 18-month ritual, but something as simple as creating a routine that puts you on the path to success. Start with small steps, and who knows, you might discover your own magic, the kind that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. And now I want to know, what did you think of this journey? Are you ready to explore even more? Leave your comment, tell me what you thought, and share your ideas. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any of our adventures into the unknown. Remember, the next step could change everything. Are you ready to take that leap?